You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Now, folks, in Prince George's County, the state's attorney, Aisha Braveboy, has launched Operation Protect the Vote for All. She wants to ensure that voter intimidation doesn't take place in the majority black jurisdiction during this general election. The initiative focuses on making sure vulnerable populations such as immigrants, senior citizens, and those in the LGBTQ community are not intimidated and can vote. Another part of the plan will also determine which of the estimated 500 people currently housed in the county jail are eligible to vote. She joins us right now. Glad to have you back, Aisha.
Thank you so much for having me, Roland.
So, Donald Trump literally called for his people to intimidate folks in the polls. I mean, he literally said it. Republicans say they want to draft 50,000 volunteers to literally go to the polls, to watch others as poll watchers. There's no longer a consent decree that in place that keeps them from doing it the first time in 20 years as well.
Well, let me say, if they come to Prince George's County and try to intimidate voters here, I want them to know that voter intimidation is a crime, and my office will prosecute anyone who offends voters at the poll. You know, this is a very important, critical election, and we understand that the president does not want people to vote because his concern is that voters will actually show up and vote their conscience, and he won't be where he is now.
So, first of all, so explain to people, so if they can have poll monitors, what are the rules? How far away do they have to be? Because if somebody accosts folks getting out of their cars or whatever, and so explain to folks watching what they should be looking out for to protect themselves as well.
Yeah, so every state is a little different in terms of how far away from the precinct or the doors to the precinct that the volunteers or poll watchers have to be. And so that will depend on what state you're at. But what we're talking about are people who are there to intimidate, to ask you questions like, are you, illegally here in this country, or trying to aggressively convince you not to vote, or lie to you and say that you need to leave because there's no more ballots here, or whatever it is to prevent you from voting. Those are the kind of actions that are illegal and that we will prosecute.
And just so we be clear, you're a voter. You don't owe anybody a damn thing. You don't have to answer anybody unless they are poll workers and are asking you about here's a sample ballot or to get your ID ready. If anybody asks you any questions about your status, are you a resident of this neighborhood, all you can say is talk to the hand.
Yes. In fact, you don't even have to say that. You can ignore them and keep on moving.
Well, that's important because I think some people they figure, oh, somebody might be wearing, poll watcher tags or something, and so they have to answer to them. No, you don't owe them any explanation whatsoever.
No one outside of the building generally are people who you need to give any information to. Really, the only people who you need to talk to are the election judges, who will typically ask you who you are and what is your address. And once you get those two things correct, they will give you a ballot and you will be on your way. You typically don't have to actually show ID. Sometimes in certain states, if you're a new voter, you're voting for the first time at a particular precinct, they might ask you for your ID. But for the most part, you're not even asked for your ID. You should not be asked in most states for your ID.
Last point here, talk about the folks who are in jail. How are you working to make sure that they who can vote, who can't vote?
Absolutely, Bill. They are residents and citizens, and they have rights. And so for those who are being held pre-trial in our detention center, we have given every single person access to the ballot. We work with our Board of Elections and our Correctional Officers Association. So I want to give a shout out to our unions. They have been really, really helpful, as well as the local NAACP and other organizations. But essentially, every single person in the jail, we provided their names to the Board of Elections, and they determine who was eligible to vote. And so once they determined that, they prepared packages for every single person who was eligible to register to vote, or who was a registered voter and wanted to receive an absentee ballot. So that was delivered to the jail. We did a voter registration drive right at the jail, and those applications were sent to the Board of Elections, and those individuals will be receiving their ballots in the next week. And we look forward to them voting, because every single person should exercise their right, whether you are a pretrial detainee, or in our state, you're allowed to vote if you are serving time for a misdemeanor. And if you have been released from jail, even if you still have time on parole or probation for a felony, but you've been released from jail, you are eligible to register to vote. So we're sending that message out to every single person in our community. Please vote. Vote early if you can, because it's the safest way to vote at this point, either by mail or drop your ballot off at a drop box, or an election day you can take the ballot and drop it off at your precinct. But we want everyone to vote, and we want to protect everybody, even those behind the wall.
All right, then, Aisha Braveboy, we surely appreciate it. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you so much. I like your shirt.
I appreciate it. Yeah, well, actually, so when Regina Bell was on the show, she actually had this shirt on, and folks have been asking me about it. So let me find it. There's a brother, I think it's knowledgedesigns.net. He actually sent me the shirt. I wore one last night as well, and so he has them on. I'm double checking right now. So yeah, the website is knowledgedesigns.net. And so we certainly appreciate them for shooting this to me for me to rock on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy.
I appreciate it. Keep giving them hell.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a bunch.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
All right, the folks at Ceek.com, black-owned company founded by Mary Spio. They, of course, a virtual reality company. You can check out their content at Ceek.com, CEEK.com. You can do so, of course, with these VR headsets. You can look at it, of course, on your regular device or your pad or your computer. But if you want to experience being in the room, you can use this headset right here. All you simply do is just pop in your cell phone in here, pop it on, and then put this headset on, and you can literally experience their content in virtual reality. And so allows for you to do a 360-degree view of the room. But also, folks, they have the 360-degree 4D headphones right here. These are Bluetooth headphones. They have complete surround sound in terms of as you hear the particular music. Gamers love them as well when they're playing their games. And so it's just phenomenal bass in these headphones as well. You can get one or both devices at Ceek.com using this promo code RMVIP2020, RMVIP 2020. So we certainly thank the folks at Ceek.com for being a partner with us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered.